Director Conant,
Present.
Director Avdis,
Here.
Director Jones,
Here.
Director Holloway, Director Holloway, Director Shaw.
Here, and I saw Holloway just a minute ago on video, so he should be here somewhere.
Okay, Director Shaw,
Here.
thank you. Director Ashby, Chairman Harris,
Present.
Director Jennings,
I am here.
Director Desmond,
Here.
Director Frost,
Here.
Vice Chairman Kennedy,
Here.
Director Natoli, Director Nava. We do have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. Director Desmond, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Happy to. Please stand and salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Hey, Monica. I'm going to call his cell phone. I can't. I'm literally on SAFCA and I have no microphone.
Let me find, sorry, I will
And
find.
we kept the bar
Can you
and
do
it's
that
still
again?
plugged in.
Hey, Lindy,
Here
you're
it
stepping
says-
on the pledge.
Yeah.
I've got her muted, so I don't know how we're hearing her. Okay. Shall we go ahead with the pledge?
Please.
Yes, let's try that again.
Try it again.
Go ahead, Rich.
Okay, salute. I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance to the flag of the United States of
United
America,
States of America.
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, directors, thank you for the patience with that. Lindy, do you have announcements to read?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This meeting is being recorded and will be aired on Metro Cable 14 on Sunday, December 19th at 2 p.m. It will also be posted on SAFCA's website within 48 hours after the meeting. Members of the audience are encouraged to leave their microphones on mute when you are not speaking. Thank you very much.
Okay, Lindy, before we go to public comments, I just want to make a remark. I would like to thank the directors for allowing me to be chair of SAFCA. This is my third year of doing so. It's been quite an honor for me. I love this organization. It's a can-do outfit, and we have made such important strides towards flood control over the last 2 years. I'm very proud of our staff. I think they're second to none of all the JPAs that I sit on. SAFCA is my absolute favorite. I just want to thank each and every person who is an employee of SAFCA and all of our contractors and contributors to the flood safety here in Sacramento. And also want to take this moment to wish all the directors a very, very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. This will probably be my last meeting as chair of SAFCA. Again, thank you so very much for entrusting me with this duty. And now, Lindy, we can go to public comments, not on the agenda if we have any.
Thank you, Chairman Harris. I have not received any public comments.
Very good. Then the next item would be the executive director's report.
For December 16th, 2021.
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon. Lindy, if you go to the first slide here. So Pete Gelfby sent me this a little earlier today, and there's a few interesting things I wanted to point out on it. What this shows basically water years, and in the water world, we go the same as the federal fiscal year from October 1st to October 1st. So what I wanted to point out on this one was if you look down below, there's a blue line there, and you'll see a box that says current at 22.7. So what this is the precipitation measurement. This is what they average over the 8 stations in Northern California. This is how they define whether what type of year we're in. And so what a couple of things you can see with that right now, this year, this water year, we're pretty close to following the pattern of the wettest year on record, which was just in 2016, 2017, just 5 years ago. So that's one thing I wanted to point out. The second is if you look over onto the right side, there's a black line there that gives the daily precipitation for 2020 through 2021, which is last year's water year, which was the third driest on record. We've almost had as much water so far this water year as we did all of last water year. But then the other thing that is really the one I really wanted to point out, and it demonstrates what keeps me awake at night, is the extreme patterns we're at. If you look at the last 5 years, we've had 2 of the years well over the average, and 2 of the years well under. So what we're seeing in this pattern is the extreme weather patterns, which is what we're experiencing all over the country with the climate change. And so we're either in an extreme drought, and then the next year one of the wettest, if not the wettest year on record. And so it's these extremes that we're trying to get all this construction to beef up our system to handle. So I just found this was a very telling graphic that Pete sent, so I wanted to share it with you. Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So earlier in November, the Congress passed and the Senate, the President signed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act in there. I just want to keep it on your radar because the administration's putting together the spend plan. We're expecting it out of the Corps for their what's in there by mid-January at the latest. And we're working on trying to get the Yolo bypass study funded under this act. So I just want to keep that on your radar, keep you informed as we find out on that. Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So federal appropriations, as I mentioned, their fiscal year starts October 1st. They haven't been able to pass any of the appropriation bills for 2022. They did a continuing resolution through December 3rd, which generally funds the government at 2021 levels. On December 2nd, Congress passed another continuing resolution to keep us going through February 18th. So we'll have to see what happens as that moves forward. It does reduce what we get for Natomas a little bit, so we're kind of anxious for them to actually get appropriation bills in place, but I wanted to make you aware of that. And then one other action, Lindy, if you go to the next slide, that Congress took just a couple of days ago. If you can get to that next slide, Lindy.
I'm sorry, it's not advancing.
Okay, well, while she tries to get it advancing, they did pass the debt ceiling, did increase it. That should last through most of 2022. We needed that to allow the Corps to continue working on our projects, as if it hadn't passed, all the federal agencies would have had to shut down. So that was another important step to keep our work going. Okay, Lindy, if you go to the next slide, I wanted to make you aware, both FEMA and the Corps are working together on a National Levee Safety Program, which Congress has told them to put together, basically combining their efforts into a more uniform set of processes and standards. They are having some stakeholder meetings. They've set up 7 in-person meetings across the country. Because of our flood risk, Sacramento has been identified as one of them. It'll be held on the 20th of January in the afternoon, which unfortunately coincides with our board meeting, but I'm going to go and step out to do the board meeting. But I wanted to make you aware if you knew of any other entities or agencies you work with that may want to participate. they are limiting because of COVID, the number that can participate in person. So need to register probably sooner rather than later. I just want to make everyone aware of that. So Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So I wanted to take a moment and kind of share what some concerns and opportunities we have coming up in the next fiscal year. It just to kind of set the stage a little bit. In 2021, there were 14 construction contracts going on. Either they continued from 2020, they were awarded this year, or they have been completed. And Lenny, if you go to the next slide there, of those 14, 13 of them will continue physically into 2020. We've got 5 going on in Natomas. We've got the Corps doing the work in the pocket that didn't quite finish up this year. It'll lag over into 22 as SAFCA has a little work to do in the north area, and then the state and SAFCA are doing all the work over in the Elkhorn Basin. So there's a few contracts, cleanup contracts up at the Johnson project. So Lindy, if you go to the next slide. I'm hearing some feedback. Are others hearing that?
Yes.
I'm looking for them to try and mute them, but so far I haven't found who it might be.
It's gone now. So anyway, so what I did here, this graphic just kind of generally shows the areas that where we're at right now in general. The green are completed, the yellow is under design, and the red area are the areas currently under construction. So if you go to the next slide, this next one's what kind of starts telling the story that I wanted to share. In 2022, the Corps plans to award 15 major construction contracts. Now, each of these will have, minor contracts like they'll do ahead, like site prep and stuff like that. But these are the major construction contracts, 15 of them in 2022. And then, Letty, if you go to the next slide. So I showed on that same graphic where they are up at the dam raise. We're going to award all the rest of the contracts to finish for the dam raise work. In Natomas, Reach E up in the north end, and then Reach I, the second contract. Reach I, the Corps already did the slurry wall down there, but in 22 they're going to award the contract to do the levee flattening. The big one in the American River Common Features 2016 project is the weir widening. Another project down in the pocket area by the Corps, and then our first 2 projects of erosion on the American River. So kind of shows what's coming. Lindy, if you go to the next slide. And then in 23, there's 5 additional major contracts that the Corps is planning to award. And then during the 22-23 timeframe, we'll have some mitigation contracts and sites that we'll need to deal with during that same time frame. They're getting defined right now. So Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So basically this graphic shows after what's coming in 23, basically we'll hit most of the areas. There'll still be a few things to award after 23, but mainly 22 and 23, these are the last of the big major construction contracts coming up. So if you go to the next slide, Lindy. So as you're aware, this kind of creates a couple of challenges. We have to obtain the real estate for all these actions. So in 22, in particular, some of the contracts are getting ready to be awarded already. And so we've already had to be working on or completed the real estate for those. But for the rest of 22, we have to finish those in the next 6 to 7 months. I included the 23 contracts also because several of them occur right after the first of the year, which means we're going to have to obtain the real estate during 22 for those also. And then even the other ones in 23, they're early enough that we're going to pretty much have to do most of the work in 22. Similarly, we've got the utility relocations, which go along with those, and we need to deal with those. Now, the thing about the real estate is the Corps cannot go forward and advertise until we've obtained all the real estate. So that's what puts us on the critical path on all of these. So the reason I'm bringing it up is this will be by far and away our biggest challenge year for real estate and the utility relocations. And we've got a summit set up internally in January to work through, how we're going to deal with these. So I just want to make you aware at the January, February board meetings, we'll be bringing more information and additional plans on how we plan to meet these challenges. But this will be our big mission for 2022. So Lindy, if you go to that next slide then. And then finally, unfortunately, we're still don't have the opportunity to be in person where we could have our treats at the end of this meeting and say thank you. But I wanted to take the opportunity to thank each of you as our board members, to thank Chair Harris and Vice Chair Kennedy, all the efforts that have taken place during the years. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you very much for making us be as successful as we have been. And just wanted to wish everyone a happy holiday and see if there's any questions.
So do we have any questions from the directors? Then we can move on to the consent calendar.
And our consent matters items 2 through 11.
Move to approve, Conant.
Second, Jones.
Thank you. I will call roll. Director Conant,
Aye.
Director Avdis,
Aye.
Director Jones,
Aye.
Director Holloway. Thumbs up. Director Shaw,
Aye.
Director Ashby, Chairman Harris,
Aye.
Director Jennings,
Yes.
Director Desmond,
Aye.
Director Frost,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Kennedy,
Aye.
Director Natoli,
Aye.
Director Nava.
Aye.
Motion passes with 11-member approval. Thank you. And our next item is a separate matters, items 12. It's an information item, fixing the employer contribution under the Public Employees Medical and Hospital Care Act at an equal amount for employees and annuitants.
Very good. Thank you, Lindy. Jason, have you taken this?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chair Harris. Jason Campbell, Deputy Executive Director. So we're bringing this informational item to you because government code requires that we provide you minimum of 2 weeks of advance notice for a modification to the CalPERS medical agreement that we have in place currently. So this informational item is intended to be part of that notification process because we only have a meeting once every month. We will bring the full item next month. Just a little background in regards to the contribution change that we're going to be proposing to you in January. Since 2015, SAFCA's had a whopping 4 retirees that have retired and left our service from SAFCA. Recently, we had the first annuitant that required to have the medical payments made in regards to their post-employment retirement benefits. So we identified a conflict between the existing agreement and our existing employee handbook that represents all the employees. So we requested this modification to occur so that we could make sure that everything is congruent as far as future benefits to all the employees and what they are expecting to see in retirement. So along with that, we also have brought in Bartel and Associates to do the mandatory actuarial study to identify what the impacts of this change is. And as indicated in the board report, it is an increase of $600 per year for all staff. So just wanted to bring that forward to make sure that we are representing that. It was reviewed and we're recommending next month that we bring this back to move forward with the modifications to the agreement. So overall, no significant impacts other than we need to make the adjustment and bring this back to your board. I would be happy to answer any questions if there are any at this point.
Any questions from directors? Seeing none, we can move to the next item.
Thank you.
Thank you. Separate matters, item 13 is resolution number 2021-143, authorizing the executive director to execute a termination agreement with the Natomas Basin Conservancy regarding mitigation land management activities for the Natomas Levy Improvement Program.
All right, thank you again. Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So as you're all aware, in 2007, SAFCA started work on the levee improvements in Natomas under the Natomas Levy Improvement Program to advance the construction and flood risk reduction ahead of the Corps. And as you're aware, under federal law, we have to provide the real estate for the project. But there's one other thing that's required from us also is any mitigation sites that are created to offset impacts from a project, we have to also maintain those sites in perpetuity, including maintaining the habitat value. So as a result of that, it has resulted in a number of interactions over the years with TNBC, the Natomas Basin Conservancy. Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So TNBC is the nonprofit that basically operates the Natomas Basin Habitat Conservation Plan, which was set up to manage how development and the conservation occurs in Natomas. And it has its board of directors and acquires and manages habitat lands. Currently, it owns about and operates about 35 properties. Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So our interaction has been kind of on two levels with TNBC. There have been some of their properties that were needed for the project, and these were properties that they were holding for the habitat value and the public use. And so in order to acquire those, we were required to find replacement properties that provided the same habitat value and the same land use that would replace those. And then on the other side of that, as SAFCA created mitigation sites for the project's impacts as we went forward, TNBC has been managing those for us. So those were kind of our two areas of interaction with TNBC. Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So SAFCA has 10 properties currently that TNBC manages. If you go to the next slide, Lindy. The next one shows a map of where those are. You can see most of them are around the airport area or a little south of it, and then there's one up in the northeast area, the Brookfield property of the Basin there. If you go to the next slide, Lindy. So last year, TNBC informed SAFCA that they would like to end their role as managing our mitigation properties. They pointed out that it was never intended to be in perpetuity, and that their role with all the development and growth out there has grown so much that they don't really have the capability of continuing to manage that, their management responsibilities along with ours. And so we've developed a termination agreement as part of the resolution today with you. And I'll just talk a little bit more about it before we take it up. But Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So we've got three areas where we needed to cover what TNBC has been doing for us out there. One is the biological monitoring and reporting. And so we need a land manager who will do that. It's a requirement of our agreements with the resource agencies and the permitting agencies. We need someone to do the land maintenance, which includes, taking care of the vegetation, garbage, access to the land, as well as making sure that the mitigation values, habitat values, are maintained. And then in some of the areas where we have, like, for example, rice productions needed for Swanson's habitat, foraging, or for giant garter snake, then we need ag tenant. So Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So over this last couple of years, like in July of 2021, SAFCA issued a task order to ESA to do the land management and the biological monitoring. And then our lease with TNBC for the ag agreements expires December 31st. So we had released an RFP earlier, and at the October board meeting, we brought the selected tenants and the board approved who those would be. Likewise, for the land maintenance, RFP went out and the board approved those in October 21. And so we have since developed agreements for both the ag tenants and the land maintenance to start January 1st, 2022. So Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So with that, we have got everything in place to move forward with this termination agreement. So what the termination agreement does, two things. One, for the master agreement, it terminates that. That was the first agreement, general agreement that was put in place in 2009. And then there's been 9 implementation agreements that address more of the specifics over the years as we added properties to it. So those are the 2 items that are in the termination agreement in this resolution. Then the property exchange agreement was already taken care of under consent. That was from back in 2018, where we had identified the properties that we needed to provide to TNBC to make up for the habitat values for the properties that they provided for the project. There's a substitution that needed to be made on that list, and you took care of that already in consent. So Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So we're all ready now. Everything's in place to close out our responsibilities of TNBC on December 31st. And everything's ready for the others to take it over on January 1st. So we recommend that the board consider approving the termination agreement, which will allow us to terminate our agreements with TNBC and then start the turnover process. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Rick. Any questions from directors? If none, I'll entertain a motion.
Just real quick through the chair, Rick, Matt Conant. So we will manage this in perpetuity. Is SAFCA going to be here in perpetuity to do this?
Well, so one of our long-term goals is, we've got this property in Natomas, but we also have other properties around. One of the things that we're working on right now is we're looking for a long-term solution where either through some type of a trust or an endowment, we're able to get all of our properties and mitigation properties set up for, a perpetuity type of arrangement there. But that will be a future step. We're not there yet.
Okay. Thanks, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll move the staff recommendation.
I'll second it, Conant.
Very good. Thank you. Moved by Desmond, second by Conant. And Lindy, can you call the roll?
Director Conant,
Aye.
Director Avdis,
Aye.
Director Jones,
Aye.
Director Holloway.
Aye.
Thank you. Director Shaw,
Aye.
Director Ashby.
Yes.
Thank you. Chairman Harris,
Aye.
Director Jennings,
Aye.
Director Desmond,
Aye.
Director Frost,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Kennedy,
Aye.
Director Natoli,
Aye.
Director Nava.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes with 13-member approval. And our next item is separate matters, item 14, a resolution of appreciation number 2021-144, recognizing K.C. Sorgan for her contributions to the Sacramento Area Flood Control Agency. And here I have posted her resolution, which Rick will do a very nice job of summarizing so you don't have to read it.
All right, thank you. we wanted to take an opportunity, one, to recognize and thanks Casey for all of her efforts over the years with SAFCA, and I'll go through some of those. But she has taken a new position, a senior planner over with Sacramento County Regional Parks, a great opportunity for her. But certainly a loss for us, so we'll still interact a lot with her. But I did want to just share with you a little bit about what Casey's meant to us over the years. Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So Casey has been our backbone of our natural resources program since 2007. She's been working with us, key helping us in making sure that we're able to get our permitting and environmental requirements and mitigation in place, and working with the resource agencies and the permitting agencies, and then making sure we do what we're supposed to. And it's helped us basically put in place all of our projects. You can't really do anything without having that in place. And I just listed some of them, but you can see her contributions. We wouldn't be able to be advancing any of the flood control without her contributions on helping us with the permitting and the mitigation and the habitat values there. If you go to the next slide, and I particularly wanted to highlight a few of them. We have, with the water forum, a technical resource advisory committee that we have used for a couple of decades now. There's so many different stakeholders on the American River that anything we do along the American River with the levees or in the channel, you just have to work with so many stakeholders. And this technical resources advisory committee has been the key for working through getting all the stakeholders to get the support we needed for moving forward. And Casey really was key in getting that implemented, started, and keeping it going over the years. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. That's been huge for us over the years. Lately, she's been working on the Natural Resource Management Plan, which is being developed along the Lower American River with Sacramento County Regional Parks to help as we're looking at some of the mitigation to make sure that it's in line with what all the other agencies are doing and planning in the American River there. In Natomas, we incorporated some vegetation management into all of our levee designs. Casey was a key role in making and how that occurred, and it has actually gone on to really be looked at as a model in other places around the country. And then she really was key in making sure that everything that we promised that we said we were going to do, that we've been able to construct and establish, not only in Natomas, but also in our other projects. So Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So this is probably what I felt was probably the most important thing, is she's very trusted by all the resources and permitting agencies. They know that she intends to do what she says, and that has given SAFCA huge credibility with our environmental mandate that we have. And so I really appreciate that. I wanted to make you aware of that. So if you go to the next slide. So Casey will be missed, and we do want to thank her and wish her the best. So at this point, I'd like to ask if Casey, she wanted to be able to say something to the board, and then after the board consider her resolution. So.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you. I really wanted to say that I feel very fortunate to have worked with so many great people during my time at SAFCA. And over the past 14 years, I've had excellent mentors, and I wouldn't be where I am today without them. And as a Sacramento native, I am really, really excited that I have this opportunity to utilize my experience and continue to contribute to the Sacramento region in my new position as a senior planner at Regional Parks. I'm just very grateful to SAFCA. Thank you.
Very good. Casey, if I could just make a couple of remarks. On behalf of the board, I'd like to thank you for all of your efforts, and we wish you the best at County Regional Parks. The work that you will do on the Natural Resources Management Plan is key to the Lower American River Park Conservancy program. So we will be working hand in hand with you very soon. And so we're not saying goodbye, we're saying hello, just with a different hat on. But thanks so much for making SAFCA the wonderful organization that it is, and all your contributions are deeply appreciated. Any comments from directors?
Chairman Harris, if I might, I think you have called in and you also have your computer on. Could you mute your computer, please?
Yeah, Lindy, I'm trying to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Casey, welcome to Sac County.
Thank you.
So we need the board to adopt the resolution there.
Yes, we need a motion.
I'll move it.
I will second it. Jennings.
I have a motion by Director Holloway and a second by Director Jennings. Matt Koenig,
Aye.
Director Abdes,
Aye.
Director Jones,
Aye.
Director Holloway,
Aye.
Director Shaw,
Aye.
Director Ashby, Chairman Harris,
Aye.
Director Jennings,
Aye.
Director Desmond,
Aye.
Director Frost,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Kennedy,
Aye.
Director Natoli, Director Nava.
Yes.
Motion passes with 11-member approval. Thank you. Thank you,
All right.
Casey.
Yeah, thank you, Casey. Goodbye. Good luck. And yeah, you're getting a good one over the county there. So
Our next item is a separate matters. Item 15 is also a resolution of appreciation, number 2021-145, recognizing William H. Edgar for his contributions to the Sacramento Area Flood Control Agency upon the occasion of his retirement.
all right, thank you, Lindy. If you go to the first slide, so yes, she has the reso up there, but so Bill Edgar has been the president of the Central Valley Flood Protection Board, and he is retiring. Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So just, you're all aware of the flood event that occurred in '86 that exposed all of our weaknesses and kind of was our wake-up call. As a result of that, on January of 1989, the Sacramento County Board of Supervisors and the City Council created the Office of City County Flood Control Planning and appointed Bill Edgar as its executive director. So then if you go to the next slide. So one of the purposes of this new position was to create and implement a comprehensive flood control agency. So it was under Bill's leadership that SAFCA was created. One, we had the SAFCA Act, which gave some authorities at the state level from the legislature, and then also the Joint Exercises of Powers Agreement, which gave us our remaining authorities there. And Bill was key in getting all those pulled together. So Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So this first SAFCA board meeting occurred on October of 1989. And it was at that meeting that the first SAFCA board appointed Bill its first executive director. And Bill then had to not only he just created the agency, he had to get funding for it. He had to get enough personnel to get it going, kind of establish its role, and then get going with the Corps of Engineers as a non-federal sponsor, along with the state, who was a co-non-federal sponsor. That's a lot to do. And at the same time, they're working with the Corps to get the first feasibility report to Congress in 1991. That report was the one that the first one that went to Congress, identified levee work and a dry dam up at the Auburn site. Congress didn't approve it and sent back to the Corps to do some additional work, which eventually led to all the projects which we're building now. But Bill really was the one that got us going there. So Lindy, if you go to the next slide. So in March of '93, Bill was appointed as the Sacramento City Manager. So that ended his tenure as the SAFCA Executive Director. And then in 2007, Bill also took on the same task to form Sutter Butte Flood Control Agency and served as its first Executive Director. So he really helped two of the valley's local flood agencies get off the ground. So Lindy, if you go to the next slide. And then Governor Brown in 2012 appointed Bill as the president of Central Valley Flood Protection Board. So go to the next slide there, Lindy. I since Bill's been there, all of our projects that we currently have under construction are just finishing, went forward to construction. And so working with the Central Valley Flood Protection Board during Bill's tenure, we wouldn't have been able to get these projects in the ground without his efforts and the board's efforts. So I just want to recognize that. Then if you go to the next slide. So tomorrow's meeting of the Central Valley Flood Protection Board will be Bill's last meeting. He'll be retiring from the board and as the president. And so we wanted the board to consider approving this resolution, and then we'll present it to Bill at the meeting tomorrow. So with that, I take any questions.
Through the chair, Matt, kind of just a comment, Rick. Thank you for bringing that up about SAFCA. Bill was he was instrumental, and he was a driving force that started that. And some of you may not be aware that 2 months ago, we just celebrated the enactment of our 200-year flood protection in SAFCA. So, but Bill was instrumental in getting that organization going. And there was a lot of people that think it couldn't be done. So he needs to be given a lot of credit for that. Thank you.
And I'd be pleased to move the motion on the
I'll
resolution.
second that. Jennings would be pleased to second it.
So I'd just like to say that there's really not enough to be said about Bill's contribution to flood safety in our region. You know, he was one of the progenitors of SAFCA. He's been fabulous on the flood board. And of course, the city manager in the city of Sacramento, he did a lot of great work. What a great guy. I mean, he's just a really elegant man. He's so knowledgeable about every single project in our region. It's a big loss for us overall for him to be retiring. Certainly, we wish him well, and I'll personally miss him. I'll personally miss talking to him because he's just a repository of institutional knowledge. Rick, I do hope I can make it to the meeting tomorrow. I'll certainly try. It would have to be by Zoom, but I'll give it a good effort to get there.
Okay, it's going to be the first on the agenda, and they start at 9. They moved it from 10 to 9.
Oh, in that case, I can do it. So
Okay.
I will get there.
Okay, good.
All right, so we have motion and a second. Lindy, can you call roll, please?
Director Conan,
Aye.
Director Abdes,
Aye.
Director Jones,
Aye.
Director Holloway,
Aye.
Director Shaw,
Aye.
Director Ashby, Chairman Harris,
Aye.
Director Jennings,
Yes.
Director Desmond,
Aye.
Director Frost,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Kennedy,
Aye.
Director Natoli, Director Nava.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes with 11-member approval.
Well, everybody, I think that concludes our formal business. Is that correct, Lindy?
That is correct. Except we want to wish you happy holidays.
Yes, indeed. That's a great slide. Are there any comments or questions from directors before we?
I just want to thank Lindy for delivering all the cookies to my house yesterday. That was
Yeah, mine too.
Secret Santa.
Bring half to me. As usual, Patrick won.
Chair Harris,
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to thank you for your leadership this year in chairing our meetings. I heard you very clearly when you said in your comments that you love this organization. It's one of your favorite JPAs to sit on. I know that not only heard your words, but I heard your heart. And you've displayed that in every meeting that you've had as
Good. Well, I'm having a lot of technological problems today. I just got dropped out of the meeting as Rick was saying some very kind words. So Rick, I got, I think, the beginning of it, and thank you so very much. Are there any other comments or questions from directors?
Chair Harris.
Yes, Rich Desmond.
Yeah, I hope this isn't a harbinger of things to come with you, not as our chair next year, but these technical difficulties. But I also wanted to echo Rick's sentiments. And Jeff, you're a friend, and you have taught me a lot about flood control. And I too appreciate your leadership and your passion for SAFCA, and just thank you for your service this past year.
Well, thank you so much, Director Desmond. It is true. I really love this organization. I'm so thrilled about all the projects that we're able to affect over the years, you know, going to Washington and lobbying for first appropriations and then, authorizations and then appropriations, working with Rick and Jason, Gary, John, everybody. Lindy, you're fabulous. What a great crew. This is a really solid organization, and it's moving along quite nicely. Anything else? Seeing no comments, I guess we can just all wish you happy holidays, and we can call this meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jeff.